On today's episode, we're sitting down with Mr. George Kouri.
You're listening to The First Three Knocks, a Masonic podcast in the District of York, where we discuss topics for the betterment of Masonry. The opinions discussed in this podcast are those of the individual and do not represent the views of Grand Lodge or any other Masonic body. Now, here are your hosts.
Well, good afternoon, brethren. Coming to you from Toronto, Ontario this afternoon on this fine Saturday. I am your host, Worshipful Brother Bert Tellier from the Rising Sun Lodge in Aurora, sitting with your co-host, Brother Gino Scovio, and we have a very special guest here today, my good friend and mentor, Mr. George Kouri. Welcome, George.
Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So George is a very dear friend of mine, a special friend for many reasons. George is an executive coach. George has been working as a coach for over 50 years now, I think would be the right amount of time, which seems like a long time, but he's definitely very experienced. He is an author. He wrote the book, Gimme A Hug, How Small Acts of Recognition Deliver Big Results and Create a Culture of Success. He is a lecturer at university. He's worked with large companies and small companies and business executives really around the world. So, George, a great big welcome to you on our show.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you again for inviting me.
So, George, maybe you can just give us a little bit of background. Obviously, you're not a Mason, but you're probably the person I know that most resembles a Mason. What did you say,
I've
Jim?
only met George recently, and we walk away every time we sit with this fella, and I say to Bert, how is this guy not a Mason? Like, all the things that he aligns his values in are exactly in parallel to the Masonic world we live in. So it's like, how is he not a Mason?
Yeah, he's definitely, I think for today's purpose, we make you an honorary Mason.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we do that? Of course we can.
On our show,
it's
we
our
can.
show. There you go. Honorary Mason for the day.
Well, I'm honored that you even think that way. My values are my life. My life's work is all about people. It's all about human behavior. It's all about kindness to each other. You know, we're living in crazy times right now, very crazy times. And if we as human beings can't care for the person next to us, who are we going to rely on?
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to fix the world. Absolutely. But we certainly can help others. And I hate to talk about myself, but there's an expression called pay forward right now. It's been used a couple of times, I guess, in the last year or three. And it's interesting because you're sort of giving back of all the blessings we've had. I was born and raised in the ghetto. I was an abused child, as my outreach. My mother died when I was 3. Never had a mother. My father disappeared. I don't know where the hell he went to. Can't blame him. His wife died at an early age, but somebody, I don't know, divine intervention helped me get here. Yeah, it's been 50 years of coaching and helping others. And I want to do it for another 50 years. I hope the vitamins work. Otherwise, I don't know. I may have to leave pretty soon. But anyways, it's part of what I believe we all need to do. We can't just sit here and say, oh, woe is me. I'm getting a new car next week. I got a new house. Oh, my God, I got a garden that's growing tomatoes. And who cares? What have you done to help your fellow person? I don't know. Should I say fellow man? No, I better not. So that's to answer your question or your comment, you know. I'm thrilled. Every day of my life, I try and help somebody. Whether I do it in person or on email or however, I will help somebody. I was at a Swiss chalet just last week. Or no, 2 weeks ago I was here. And I walked in and there was a couple that looked like they needed help.
Yeah.
You can tell by what they're wearing. You can tell by the vibration. And then I looked over, and I guess they had ordered chicken with fries. $10, $12, I don't know what it was. So I called the waitress over and I said, "Excuse me, can you give me their bill, please? I want to pay for their..." "What?" I said, "Yeah. And don't say a word. Just tell them an angel paid for their meal." Well, sure enough, she went over and no bill, and I could hear her saying, "Oh, an angel," and they're looking around like, and it was so funny because they looked up, looking up and thinking, "Where's the angel?"
Yeah.
Now, what did that cost?
Nothing.
$20?
Nothing.
Honest to God.
That's priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless. But, small things like that, they talked about it the rest of the night, and I'm sure they told all their friends. They called their uncle in Wichita and said, "Hey, Unc, guess what? We had an angel visit us today." Or whatever happened. I don't know what happened, but you can guess that it was a glorious moment for them. Something they talked about. A kindness. And isn't that what Masons are all about?
Yeah. Making good men better.
Making good people better. And it's better. That's the key word, which also happens to be a word that I very much appreciate and use all the time.
Well, that was one of the words that really stuck last time we sat together. A lot of the things that we were talking about, you talked about just taking that little moment of everything you possibly can to make the next step better and better and better. And again, one of the biggest key values in Masonry. So
better.
I turned to Bert, like I said, and said, "This guy a Mason?" If not, should we give an application or something? Make him an honorary?
We're not soliciting, but you'd make a great Mason. I think that would be
absolutely.
fair to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
George, you've had a tremendous career. You have helped so many people, myself being one of them and one of your biggest fans. Tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done with people over the years, typically in a business aspect, but you also help people on a personal level as well. What has been your experience?
Well,
what do you see?
If I had to answer that question in one or two words, it would be all about confidence building and helping people realize how good they really are. We have been conditioned to look at the negatives.
Right.
We have been conditioned from childhood through our work days to focus on the negatives, focus on the things that are wrong. Nobody seems to have a list of all the good things they are. And so what I do in my coaching is certainly talk to them and get to know them and find out who they are and what they are. And out of that process comes, if you will, a list of their positives, a list of all the good things that they are and they represent, the good things they've done. You can't strive to help somebody become better unless you yourself know that you have the strength to help somebody become better. You can't help somebody if you yourself needs help. So my focus has always been help make me better. And in business, I show them or help in discussion with them. I never answer the question. I just make them realize.
Come to the conclusion.
Come to the conclusion of how good you really are.
Yeah.
And the next phase is, now that you realize how good you are, how are you using that goodness? How are you using those skills and talents and qualities to help others? And then we get into different topics. Head and heart and sizing and all those good things, the hurt files and happy files. So that's the business part. On an individual level, I've had the good fortune of helping a lot of people as well. Usually it starts with a client who then says, can you talk to my son or daughter or my nephew is... And that too is a matter of confidence.
Uh-huh.
Because parenting is not an easy task. Parenting in and of itself is a challenge. And so I'm the external third party who does not judge or evaluate the individual. Parents by definition, are judging and evaluating every day. They come to me and we talk about things, and hopefully I'm trying to bring out their best qualities. If you don't realize how strong you are, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
If you don't know how to cope with fear, there's nothing we can do. You need to learn how to make your fears a little better, a little easier, a little more manageable as a topic.
Mm-hmm.
So on an individual level, instead of running to alcohol or smoking or all those, now it's vaping, I guess, in today's world. They're killing themselves left, right, and center because they're all vaping. Why? Because they haven't taken the time and nobody's helped them reach out and find their goodness. We've lost sight of how good we are as a society, as a family, as a business. 13% is not good enough. What is good enough? 15. Oh, yeah, we'll get 15. I guarantee you next year your boss is going to say, where's 17?
Yeah.
Get 17. The following year it's going to be, where's the 20? At what point are you satisfied? And so we keep putting people down. We keep putting businesses down. We keep putting our neighbors down. And we're fighting, and all we do is we buy another Ferrari, because that makes us feel good. Does nothing for the emotions.
Right.
Looks good in the driveway, but deep down you're still suffering. You haven't learned how to cope with hurt files. You haven't learned how to understand your goodness. A Ferrari does nothing for you. But your qualities, if you have a big heart and you're using that heart, if you have a God-given gift and you're using that gift to help others, make others better, you will get that in return. And that's not BS, and it's not just a saying, it's a fact. When you give somebody a gift, what's the first thing you hear?
Thank you.
Why would you say thank you? Why wouldn't you say, you know what, George, you're an idiot for giving me that? It never occurs to you.
I couldn't imagine someone
You couldn't
saying
imagine
that.
saying, but so when we give somebody a gift, the first thing they say, it's automatic, is thanks. That's very kind of you, very thoughtful of you. Geez, I didn't think you'd remember my birthday. Very sweet of you. So it's all positive. And yet, it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I mean, that's why I love golf. Why? Because everything on a golf course is positive. Oh, you had the right line. No, I didn't. The ball didn't go in the hole.
It's 80 yards in the woods.
No. You had the right
It's
line.
so
I'd like your swing. That was a good swing. Oh, you got burnt. You got robbed. Went
This
around.
is very true, actually.
It went around the cup 6 times. Oh, it didn't go in. No, it's not. But you had the right line.
But it was a good shot.
He's a good shot.
Great shot. Oh, my God. Yeah, too bad it went in the water.
Yeah.
So we try and make a bad situation great. But when it comes to human beings, we don't say that. You're an idiot. We're not shy to put people down. On a golf course, you try and build them up.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing? Golf course is great. Everybody's terrific. Oh, what a lovely shot. Wow, you're going to break 100 today. Except on the 18th hole, you got it in the water.
Get another 12.
And
I was saying he's talking about 9 holes there, right?
so that's what I find strange. And now what I find personally disappointing is there's so much goodness in people, but we don't take the time to bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then teach them or guide them or help them use their goodness
And
to
George,
improve things.
why do you think that is? Why do you think that we don't do that as a society?
It's our conditioning. It's my famous word. I use that. I don't know how many times I've said that. We are conditioned. Well, think about it. Think about it. You have children. You have children. Soon you'll have It's a prediction I'm making.
It's imminent, I think.
Imminent. It's
Imminent.
in the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do? For some reason, it's been handed down from generation to generation that the only way to raise children is to point out all the things they're doing wrong. What do we hear? Don't do this, don't do that. And occasionally we say, okay, we're gonna go to Dairy Queen and have an ice cream. Yay, way to go, Daddy. Can we go to McDonald's instead? Okay, so you take them to McDonald's. You think you're a great father. And what do you do at McDonald's? Careful on this on the slide there. Make sure your brother isn't in front of you. You're gonna fall right into him. Wait a minute, I thought this was a fun time.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. McDonald's has spent millions of dollars developing these slides and these fun things to do. Watch it. Be careful you don't fall. You can't. There's no freedom. We don't allow people to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by conditioning. You don't realize it at the time because your only interest is make sure that little Johnny doesn't fall.
It
It's gonna
feels noble.
slip.
Yeah. Noble cause.
So I'm doing my job as a parent. Okay. When you're 30, what are you doing? Johnny still remembers how you yelled at him at McDonald's. So we're conditioned. I don't know how many times I've asked people, how many positive meetings have you had? None. I don't know what you guys do at your meetings, but I don't want to embarrass you, but what the hell, I'm going to. How many positive sessions do you have? Do you sit there and say, let's review the positives of each person in the room? What did you do last week that you could say, help man become better? Is that your slogan?
Making good men better.
Making good men better. How have you done that? What did you do last week to do that there, Gino? Give me an example.
He's digging for the
That's
secrets.
a big one. That's a big one. I don't know.
I don't know why he's staring at his shoes. But
You see?
yeah.
So you answer your question. Your
Yeah.
own question is, we don't take time to enjoy the good things we do. You helped your wife last week. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't that come out automatically?
Should have been first in my thoughts.
First thing, but you don't think that.
Yeah.
The first thing we think of is, oh, what if this? And well, I don't know. I don't have a number to refer to that shows me that it was good.
Ah, yes.
Oh, so you need a percentage point?
Yeah. A report
I
card.
need a grade.
maybe.
You need a report card or a grade, or you need something that gives you, oh, yeah, I did okay. Well, simple question. What did you do last week? All of a sudden, he became can't speak, can't move, froze in his tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Even scared to answer the question. Didn't even give me a fake it.
Well, it was a pretty dirty
Caught me
question.
off
We have to
there. Well, yeah,
be
I
honest about
wasn't
that.
ready. Wasn't prepared for that one.
No, yeah, see,
I thought
you
we were
gotta-
peppering you a
I
question.
should've,
And here you threw it back
What
at
is
me.
this questions
I don't
coming our
have
way?
papers here. I don't have any papers. I haven't prepared. I don't know what you're going to ask me next.
So he's on the offense, is what he's saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we do good. Why are you scared to tell me what you did that's good? Back to an answer. We're not conditioned to brag. Oh, you're not supposed to brag. Why? Why am I bragging? I'm telling you the truth. It's a fact. I helped Pierre Robert. I helped Nassim. I helped, and I'm proud of that. Why? Because I helped a man be a better man. I did it.
Yeah.
Damn right I'm proud. Why am I not allowed to say I'm proud of helping Bert Tellier? Not allowed to say that. Oh, what am I supposed to say? Well, the elevator was stuck. I don't want to take the elevator anymore. That's okay. I'm allowed to yell and scream, but I'm not allowed to say something good. Isn't it strange in business? You're in business.
Yeah.
Well, how many meetings do you attend? Every day you're in meetings. And what are you doing every day? Looking at all the bad
Looking
things.
at the numbers, yeah.
You're looking at the numbers. What do we do here? And why we're a little shy here. We're 5 decimal places. And how come the plant burnt down? And what are we doing about that? How many firemen were there? Why didn't they put it out sooner? Oh, drive me nuts. Every day.
Yeah.
Think about it. Every day there's a barrage. It's like a machine gun that goes into your head, and the bullets are all negatives. At the end of the day, you go home, you're tired, you're fed up, you're tired.
You're beat.
You're beat.
Yeah, that's
You don't know why. You go home and your wife says, how was your day? Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Why not? I have no more energy. They beat me to a pulp. I'm down in Cockroach City here. I don't know where I'm going to go from here. And they didn't leave me any food in the corner, so I can't even eat that. That's allowed. We're allowed to beat each other up. Excuse me, why aren't we allowed to brag a little? You don't like the word brag? Fine, change it. The dictionary's got another 6 million words in it. Pick one you like. Extol your virtues. Talk about your virtues. Exhibit the things that you're proud of. If we're not allowed to, as human beings to, we have an organization where we're supposed to help a man be a better man and all these fancy phrases. But we don't want to talk about it. Don't say it. Why not? What's the big secret? And by the way, doesn't it feel good?
Damn straight.
Doesn't it feel good when somebody comes to you
Yeah.
and says, you know, you've been my mentor all these years. My shirt, I have to get a bigger size because my chest is going to pump out here.
Yeah.
In helping others, we help ourselves. In giving to others, we give to ourselves. That couple in Swiss Chalet I told you about a minute ago went home and all night long, that's all they talked about. Where was that angel? And the funny part, I laughed. I shouldn't have been laughing. They're looking up. Look, in the restaurant, looking up, thinking, "Where's the angel?" It was funny.
It's a great example.
But
It's a great example.
Right? But
Yeah.
oh no, not allowed. Not allowed. Oh no, don't talk about that. Not the first thing that came to your mind. Why not? Because you're not conditioned.
Nope, we're not.
And not allowed. Excuse me. There's another individual in this room who probably has applied his heart more than all of us put together to save a business that was from 1902. And then he told us the story. If we were listening, and that's another big problem, by the way, we don't listen.
We don't listen.
Yeah.
1902, it was going bankrupt, so my father bought it. I don't know how many jobs he saved. I don't remember that number. But he saved human lives. Not once did we hear, well, you know, it was 13.8 and 17.7 and nothing. It was saving lives. Is that an honorable thing to do?
Absolutely.
Why don't we talk about it? So be careful what your slogans are. You know, not for me to preach, but I am going to remind you. If we can't talk about all the good things we do, if we can't extol our virtues, if we can't help others, what are we doing here?
Right.
Please tell me what you're doing here. My dream of podcasts, and I'm honored that you asked me to be a guest, is hopefully somebody in the audience, whoever's going to listen to this, will say, yeah, you know what? That bald guy's right. I should go out and help. I should go and speak. I should be proud and shout out from the top of the mountain how good I am and how good our lodge is. What has your lodge done? You're the Chief Wahini there, the big grand poobah.
I am the worshipful master of our lodge.
So I want to know, what are the 20 things that your lodge did last month that are great? And why isn't that posted? Why isn't your podcast only on all the good things our lodge did? Oh, there's an idea.
New segment.
That's a good topic.
It's a great topic.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bert Tellier. I'm the master or whatever you call yourself. Forgive me, I don't know the right terms. But I just thought I'd review some of the good things or the good accomplishments that some of our members did.
Mm-hmm.
And refer to the members, not you. You don't exist. You're a host.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry blah, blah, blah did da-da-da. Gino finally got his hair done. Blah, blah, blah. Steve finally got a child. Picked one up at the Bay. Huh?
Yeah.
So,
They're on 2 for 1.
you follow?
Yeah. So, George, maybe just last question for you. Not necessarily related to Masonry, but if you had some advice for people out there based on your experience, what would you say to them?
Help others become better. That's your only responsibility. And by doing that, you will be rewarded. Remember, if I give you a gift, 2 words come out. Thank you. A gift doesn't have to be in a box with a ribbon. A gift could be knowledge. A gift could be kindness. It could be compassion. It could be somebody holding somebody's arm, make sure they don't fall. That's a gift. And from that you get a thank you. So what do you want to do as a human being? Help others. The rewards are immeasurable. You can't buy that kind of satisfaction anywhere.
Well, we're going to just take a moment here and clear what we call the secretary's desk. All right, well, we just finished Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you enjoyed a wonderful long weekend. We're back this week on Wednesday, October 16th. Richmond Lodge will be hosting their official visit. They're going to be having banquet early, and that's up in Richmond Hill. So banquet's going to start around 6:30. Visitors will be received around 7:30. And also we have Zaradetha, Saturday, October 19th, 6:30 p.m. They have their Scotch and cigar night. They still have tickets on sale, and it's going to be a tremendous night if you didn't get a chance to go visit them last time they did this. So you can give them a shout, which is secretary@myzaradetha.com, or you can even get a hold of the first 3 knocks at gmail.com, and that's spelling the word 3, not number 3. So the first 3 knocks at gmail.com for more information on that. Tickets there are $50 per person. Scotch nosing is going to start around 7:30. You guys show up around 6:30 for some fellowship and enjoy the evening. You don't want to miss it. And that, my friends, is the secretary's desk.
And welcome back. We're sitting down with Mr. George Kouri, my friend and mentor, who has shared with us his philosophy, which ironically was very close to Freemasonry. So, George, we thank you for coming in and sharing that amazing point of view and the work that you've been doing over the many years. George, you wrote a book called Gimme A Hug. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's what you call a body of work that captures my entire life, my beliefs, my experiences, if you will, with real people. Everything in the book is real. There's no fiction in it. Part of my story is there as well. Some of the things, the techniques and the methods I've used to help others be better are in there. And so I don't want to go through all 15 or 20 chapters, but it's all in there. It's a good read if you want to understand human behavior. if you want to understand what makes people tick, what motivates them, what saddens them, why the importance of head and heart and the emotions involved, it's all in the book. It represents what I've been doing for my life, my studies, and taking my studies from McGill and putting them to practice. So it's there. Amazon carries it. They drove me crazy to get it right, and it cost a few dollars, but that's okay. It's published on Amazon, and so I'm thrilled about it. And thank God it's getting some pretty damn good reception.
Good.
My next project is my podcast.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, I wanted to leave a legacy. I'm getting on, and I'm not going to tell you what my age is. I'm a few years older than you, actually quite a few. But I don't have children. So if I can become a bit emotional here with you, I wanted to leave something. I've had a year of where I've left a lot of things, and if I tell you about them, it may come across as bragging, but I don't want to do that. But I've helped a lot of people this past year, only because my accident has forced me to think differently. And I think I owe it to others to help them in any way I can. Some have been tangible. I gave a Mercedes away to Marlene's cousin. I gave a $70,000 van to a rehabilitation group in Montreal. And I got millions in return of satisfaction, of feeling good.
Yeah.
There's something about feeling good in your heart that drove me to think, well, what else can I do? Well, what if I do some podcasts? And thanks to you and your friends, Gino and Steve, and it's unbelievable what it's doing for me. It's reawakened some friendships. People are writing in I haven't seen or heard of in 10, 15 years. And they're all remembering, oh yeah, he's this and he's that, and he helped me here, he helped me there. You can't buy that.
A great feeling.
You cannot buy that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my legacy. The book is my legacy, and the podcasts are who I am and my life's work. It's all there. And if it helps two people, I'm very appreciative, and I thank God for allowing me that privilege of helping others. I'm not charging for anything. Money has nothing to do with any of this. It's all about helping. My legacy is a legacy of helping, period.
Well, George, that is absolutely who you are, and I can speak from the heart here myself. I know you've helped more than two people in this world, and myself being one of them in a real dramatic fashion. So I thank you for that. And George's book, again, is called Gimme A Hug, How Small Acts of Recognition Deliver Big Results and Create a Culture of Success, available on Amazon.ca. And highly encourage our audience to check out the podcast as well. It's called Making It Better with Uncle George. And that's available on Spotify and Anchor and Google Podcasts and a couple others at this point. So check it out. A lot of fun doing that one. George, we thank you for joining us today and sharing your insights and wisdom, and we wish you well.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The First Three Knocks. Happy to meet, sorry to part, happy to meet again.